Sage.
And I'm Andrew Smith, and I think we're going to do some role playing today.
I think we're going to do some role playing today. We've had several people contact us via email and on Facebook, direct messaging, asking us, when we go out on a listing appointment.
Okay, you got me confused here. You said we were role playing this morning, and I got like a whole bag of tricks and stuff, and we're...
No, we're not. No, this isn't like tumbles and tossers or saucers or whatever. This is like...
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I know. I figured you didn't. But we've had a bunch of... we've had a handful of people ask us that when we go out on a listing appointment, how do we get that listing at the appointment, and what are some of our techniques of securing more listings, short sale listings in our area? And really the answer is our seller questionnaire. What do you think?
It is absolutely the seller questionnaire, and I think the important thing to point out here is when we use that seller questionnaire, quite often we're doing that to determine if we're even going to go out to the house.
Yeah, we're trying to qualify them before we waste anyone's time.
Yeah, we kind of go through all of that with a series of questions on exactly what we're going to do. So we're actually going to interview that seller many times over the phone, if possible, to try and save us a trip. That can vary, but that's just one of the ways that we'll do it.
Yeah, and I think you and I are almost identical on our systems in regards to working with sellers, is that we will interview them on the phone first with this interview process, then we will send them homework per se.
Yes.
We'll send them a packet to say you need to get these documents together, you need to fill out this type of paperwork, and then we kind of see how quickly they're going to respond to us.
Well, one of the things that we've talked about many times that you really need is you need a committed seller. You need somebody that's reached a point in their life with everything that's going on with the house where they're done. They don't want to do this anymore. They're ready to move on. And in order for them to move on, you need that seller to be committed. And it's not just committed for a week, it's committed for the entire process. So as part of our qualifying, so to speak, is we go through all of these questions, we send out the homework, and we see truly how committed they are and how quickly they can gather all of this information, return it back to us, and is it complete?
Yep. So let's do something that we have not done in the past, and that's a little bit of role playing. So we literally do have a sheet that has all the questions that we ask the homeowner. Actually, when we're on the phone, we kind of complete this as we go along.
Right.
Now, the most important thing in this exercise as an agent is once you learn the questions, you're going to get into a dialogue. You're not going to just ask the questions one at a time. So basically, let's pretend that you call me.
Okay.
And we're on the phone, and we start a conversation. How are you doing today, Mr. Smith?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I appreciate that you've called me here today and that we need to discuss your situation in regards to a possible short sale, or you're in a situation right now, I understand?
Yeah, I've been getting your marketing materials, and, I've got some things going on myself that I need to try and work out, so I figured I'd give you a call and see what we can do.
Perfect. Well, I'm in the people business, so I'm here to help you if I can. But in order to understand what I can and can't do, I need to ask you a few questions. And first of all, now that's our first time speaking on the phone, what's your property address?
My property address is 123 Main Street.
Excellent. You're like right around the corner from me. I'm out on 4th.
Oh, you're out on 4th. So
yeah.
You're just right around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know the area pretty well?
I know the area pretty well. As a matter of fact, I've probably driven by your home. That's why you've got my marketing materials. How long have you been there, Mr. Smith?
I bought that house in 2006.
2006, so kind of right when the market was starting to peak, right?
Yeah, it was a great deal at the time.
Yeah, well, what did you pay for it?
I paid $525,000.
Yeah, I feel for you, because I paid about $495 for it. We're in the same bracket, in the same boat. So, and now, are you the only one that's on title?
No, my wife's on title.
Okay, your wife's on title,
yeah.
and I hate to ask this, but you guys are still together, right?
We are still together.
Fantastic. Well, you would be surprised. Sometimes, they say, oh, my wife's on title. I'm like, are you still together? And, I've had people say, well, I haven't seen my wife in 3 years. Well, that's probably not a good situation for them personally, and it's definitely going to be difficult on a short sale.
Yeah, it happened to my neighbor.
Yeah,
his wife ran off with the pool guy.
It's a terrible situation. What type of the pool guy? What type of who's the lender on your property?
It's Bank of America.
B of A, fantastic. We do a lot of stuff with B of A, and contrary to what some people think, that B of A is really trying to work with homeowners to help them avoid foreclosure. And do you know what kind of loan in which you have? Is it FHA, VA? Do you know?
No, it was a pay option arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pay option arm.
Yeah, there's a lot of those going on in 06. They put into those in 07.
I think I read something about that. At the time, we did the loan originally through Countrywide. And you know, it was the guy we talked to was showing me all of the options, and you know, that one really seemed to be the best one, or at least that's what they told us it was.
You on a 3-1, 5-1? What kind of?
They actually can adjust annually. It's kind of fixed on, you know, it can't go up. Payment can't go up more than 7%. You know, but the interest rate's tied to a low index, so I haven't been stung too bad by it. It's
right.
just, you know, one of those where it didn't really need to put much down, and here we are.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of people did that back then, and some people are still doing it now, but it's a lot more difficult. You know, we're kind of back to old school real estate, where people actually have to have good credit and they actually have to have some money to actually buy a property now. So,
kind of a novel idea.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's kind of old school, you know. So let me ask you this: are you still living in the property?
We are.
You are living in the property, and since I haven't seen the property, can you kind of give me an idea what's the condition? You know, we're basically neighbors, so you know who's done upgrades and who hasn't. What's your house like?
You know, the house is in pretty good condition. It's got a few upgrades on it. I mean, there's some other stuff that we'd like to do. We try and keep it fairly well maintained. Nothing's really fallen apart. I'm not going to say it's the best one in the block. We just haven't had the money to do anything else. So, you know, the grass is cut. Things are pretty much green. No major damage.
Yeah, and I did notice, because I do drive down Main Street, there's been plenty of homes that were just recently repainted. Is that one of yours? You guys actually repainted the outside?
No, the outside on ours hasn't been repainted.
Okay, not a problem, but just trying to get a visualization in my mind here, what's happening on your block and with your home. And let me ask you, what is your need to sell?
Well, I'm in the sales business,
okay.
And you know, it's really been hit hard. Stuff hasn't been going on. My wife lost her job, so I've been working double time. But it's just, you know, we can't keep making it. We're behind on a couple of bills.
Okay, and what do you owe on the property? What do you think you owe about now?
Bought it for $525. I think now we owe. I think currently we owe about $490.
Yeah, you did the pay option gig where some months you didn't pay actual principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Some months you just paid partial interest.
We didn't do the negative AM thing, so we always at least made sure we did the interest part.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, didn't always make that principal payment.
That's fantastic. So at least we're one step a little bit ahead of the 8 ball. And are you behind on any payments yet, or are you current?
We've missed one.
Okay, no, that's not a problem. So you haven't been issued an NOD or an NOT, nothing like that?
No communication from the bank like that.
Okay.
Just a lot of phone calls.
And let me ask you this: have you applied for a loan mod? Have you tried going down that path yet?
We talked to him briefly. You know, it didn't sound initially though like there was much that they could do. You know, if there's still an option to possibly do something there, we might be open to it. But I'll be honest, we don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay, well, you know, I'll kind of explain the loan mod situation here. In a nutshell, you have to make enough money to cover a certain percentage of your mortgage, and you've got to basically go through the same steps that we are in a short sale. You've got to provide them all your financials, and we have to get the bank to agree to modify your actual loan. Now, that would be, in my opinion, one of the first steps that you might want to consider. But if it doesn't make any sense, the next step is to go on and to move on to a short sale situation.
Now, in order to do a short sale, do I have to try for a modification? Because to be honest with you, the house is just too big for us now.
It's too big.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to tell everyone that you don't have to. I'd like to see that, you know, if you wanted to stay in the property, then I would absolutely suggest right away, let's get you on the phone with the bank and apply for a loan mod. You don't necessarily have to apply for a loan mod, but there's pros and cons to not applying for the loan mod and just trying to do a short sale off the get-go, which we can get into more detail when we eventually meet in person.
Okay, that would be great.
So let me ask you this. I know that on my house, in my section of the neighborhood, we have an HOA. Do you guys have an HOA there? Because I'm not quite certain.
Yeah, we do.
And are you current on that?
I am current on the HOA.
All right, good. I'm going to need you to stay current on that no matter what you wind up doing.
Okay.
Okay, because you see, whether or not that we can work on this short sale with you, the bank, if they agree to a short sale, they're most likely not going to pay any back HOA stuff, or if we don't want to lien to become on the property for not paying the HOA payments.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because my neighbor said he just stopped paying everything, and he said, you know, the bank will take care of everything. Yeah,
unfortunately, that's not how it works all the time. Once in a while, we can get the bank to actually pitch in on the HOA, but you see, the bank understands that if they wind up foreclosing, they don't take responsibility of your property till the day in which they foreclose. So what's really happening is it's hurting you and all the neighbors around you by not making that HOA payment.
God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you might want to tell your neighbor, have him give me a ring, and I'll kind of lay it out for him, like
Okay.
what happens. We don't want to lien on that property, and the HOA would have the right to put a lien on if you didn't pay.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, great information. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I'm simply here to help you, Mr. Smith.
I appreciate that.
So you can kind of see where we're going in this situation here. Is we're feeling out the seller to see what they've done so far. We're already finding out if they have a need to sell. I already know what Mr. Smith's hardship is here, is that he's had a decrease in pay and his wife lost her job. We only need one hardship and a need to sell. So I kind of want to do this exercise. We talked about this morning. Let's kind of do this for our viewers to kind of show them how we react on the phone to certain things that people say.
Exactly, and then obviously in there I was being a cooperative seller. Keep in mind that I'm the one that made the phone call, so I called you.
Right.
So it gets very difficult. You've got to understand the mindset of a seller here. There can be a lot of stuff going on with them, and they can react differently to certain things. Ideally, what you're looking for, especially when they've called you looking for information, is you're looking to see if they seem honest when they're answering the questions, if they're being forthright with the answers, and if they're cooperating. Again, it's part of that qualification process. So, if I'm turning around as Troy's asking the question here, and I'm saying, well, why do you want to know that? Well, that's none of your business. Well, that doesn't matter. No. I read on the internet that. Right. And it's going to start giving you a feel. If going through the initial questions, that's the type of responses that you're getting.
Right.
There's a high likelihood as you're going through the process. Now they need to accommodate showings. They need to be available, keep the house picked up. It may be raising a few flags for you there on exactly what's going to be going on. What you're setting yourself up for.
And we get those quite often too. And I do appreciate you being kind to me, because we didn't script this. We just said, hey, let's try this and let's role play this. We've had clients, actually, I've had clients tell me on the phone, or prospects that have called me and say, I've got your marketing material, I need to talk to you about this $3,000 HAFA program that I read on the internet, and I want to know that I want to get my $3,000 and I'm not moving out of the house.
Right.
And the conversation starts just like that. We're like, well, that's not really how it works. So this is designed, these types of questions are designed for you, the agent, to see if it's a match, as we call it on our team. Is the seller a match and wants to work with us, or our personalities and our vision so different that it's not so much wasting the agent's time, but more importantly, it's wasting that homeowner's time.
Exactly. And one of the things to keep in mind, especially if there's another agent that you work closely with, obviously Troy and I do a lot of things together, is sometimes you may have a seller that seems to be fairly cooperative, but you're just not connecting on the phone. You're asking the questions, and they may offer sort of a joking response, and or you're joking back to them, and there's just nothing there.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be a match at all. What you can keep in mind is something like that. If I come across someone that seems as though Troy will work better with, you can get through most of your questions, get a really good idea, and say, you know what, I really appreciate the phone call today. I really appreciate a lot of the information. There's just a few more questions I think we need to go through while I'm pulling up some information on your property.
Right.
I'm going to get some of that together, and I'm going to call you back, or my associate's going to call you back, just to kind of finish this up and see, and go through the rest of the questions and see about what we can do to help you. Would that be okay? At that point in time, you can kind of see there if it's a personality thing and there's something you can bounce back and forth and work with.
Yeah, or possibly, I don't speak Spanish, so if I had somebody that called me that is not very fluent in English, like I'm not fluent in Spanish, I'd probably partner up with someone on that deal that speaks fluent Spanish.
Exactly.
So it's the exact same idea.
Exactly.
We don't want to let that client go. We're here to save homeowners from foreclosure.
Yep.
And help as many people as possible. So hopefully this has helped you out. If you have questions on these, on the interview process, what we do, the other forms in which we use, they can contact us, right?
Yep, they can find us on Facebook, or you can find us on the internet at www.s2neg.com, and we'd love your feedback.
Thanks for stopping by.